Hi everyone, my name is Sydney Dash. I will be doing my project on mental health in the workplace. I look forward to explaining this to you, and let's get started. Organizations that put mental health first for their employees. Mental health in general is a subject that most individuals are ashamed to discuss. Most of the embarrassment comes from not knowing if anyone else has experienced what you have, a friend or family member is going through. Think about majority of the time that you spend in the workplace. It's at least 70% of your life. And during that time, there's more mental traumas that you experience that you're not comfortable talking about. As an individual who works, you need to do self-reflection on your mental health. And I do think that occupation does make a difference. That's pretty much what I'm going to conduct this study on is your occupation, your gender, your age, and how much stress you take and how do you cope with your stress. I decided to do this topic because I think it's something that everybody can relate to. Think about your first day at your new job. Just underestimating if you can handle the position, getting a new promotion. At some point at your current job or at some job that you've ever experienced, you've had some type of anxiety, maybe a work trauma that took place, and you need to know, you as an individual, how you handle that work trauma and if it affected your personal work, or also if your employer took in consideration how you were feeling mentally and if you were able to execute the position that you currently work in. I think it's something that everybody can relate to, and that it really is important that you have a healthy balance between your mental health and your work-life, being that is an important portion of how you consume your life at work. I've also endured a tremendous amount of stress while I've been at work. It could have been because of the pandemic that we just encountered, just a lot of changes, a lot of uncertainty about my job security, new rules coming in and out, and it's a lot to handle. So it's more personal to me as well, and I hope that this study will help you realize that mental health should be a priority to you. Since this is a hypothetical case study, I would pretty much create a study on the impact of individuals' work performance and how they can be disturbed by their mental health. I would pretty much start with a group of workers. So I would have 3 groups mixed with both men and women from different positions. First group would pretty much be more demanding jobs such as factory workers. My second group would be professional jobs that require specialties such as doctors and lawyers. My last group would be probably corporate America group who works 9 to 5 at larger corporations. Within each of these groups, there will be 3 main questions. What is your coping mechanism for stress? Do you take personal time for yourself? And with it, do you take personal time for yourself? Does that company allow mental health days or personal days? And lastly, what is the relationship you aspire to have with your employer? So being able to come to talk to your employer about if you're mentally unstable, if something has happened at work, if you're stressed, if you feel a little under pressure about an assignment that you've encountered. I really want to dig deep into the balance at work and then how you handle your stress from work on your personal time. I honestly feel that everyone will answer these questions honestly, and it will result in giving the companies a better idea of how to help balance both perspectives and needs. For my theoretical framework, there are 2 major theories I would like to focus on for this project. The first one is McGregor's Theory Y, management theory, which focuses on the attitude, management style of an individual towards their employees. If you believe that your people take pride in their work and see it as a challenge, then you'll more likely adopt a participative management style. Managers who use this approach trust their people to take ownership of their work and do it effectively by themselves. Open communication and trust is formed with this theory, and people can only have this if they are mentally satisfied both at home and work. This theory is typically favored by organizations because it falls into a healthy work environment. There are 6 principles based on this theory. The first one is physical and mental effort in work is as natural as play or rest. So it shouldn't take much effort to put your mental health first. People will exercise self-direction and self-control in service of objectives which they're committed to. So again, if your work is a priority, they will have the self-control of having everything balanced. The other one is commitment to objectives is function of rewards associated with their achievement. The average human being learns under proper conditions not only to accept but also seek responsibility. So if someone notices that something is off, they will accept their responsibility and seek help if needed. The capacity to exercise. And then the last one is under the conditions of modern industrial life, the intellectual potential of the average person is only partially utilized. I think these each point out to the mind power it takes to self-influence and openly discipline yourself instead of an authoritative mindset. Moving on to my other theory, which is the mental model, which focuses on an individual's behavior. The mind develops mental models or illustrations which serves as a reference and explanation for taking the decision in various events. There can be both work and personal trauma that can have temporary effect on your behavior at work. The mental model is a representation of human mind's thoughts process. Everything that a person sees has been represented as a model inside of their minds. The mental models are considered as an internal scale for a human being for evaluation and for taking decisions. So basically what you encounter mentally is what you make a reality out of. If you're experiencing any type of depression, anxiety, stress at work, that is how you act upon, and you as an individual, you have to seek and take responsibility and fix that issue. Both of these theories I think are really important, and I think they will successfully complete my study if hypothetically if I conducted the study and asked each of the questions and the participants were truthful and really did a self-evaluation or reflection on their actions at work and having that balance between work and personal life. After conducting my studies, I would assume that my results would be based on the individual's experience. So for women, I would think the answer would be based on the treatment that the company treats them based on being a woman, maybe being overlooked by a man, that could cause stress, being viewed as a sex object, again, not being appreciated, and that could cause some type of anxiety or stress. For men, I would assume that the answer would be based on the time that they take for themselves. Most men, they have other priorities such as family, other goals they have to achieve, so they don't really have the time to put themselves first and really make their mental health a priority. So I think that would be a good, honest judgment to take in consideration. Depending on the occupation, I would assume that based on manual labor versus creativity and the high demand for a job would definitely have a significant impact on the answers that a lawyer or a doctor would give me versus someone who works at a factory job. I think, again, lawyers, doctors, they have someone else's lives in their hands, so they're not putting themselves first when somebody else's life is in jeopardy. So I'm assuming, based on the hypothetical study, that I would get multiple types of answers and everybody would be truthful, and the overall outcome would vary depending on the occupation, the gender, the age, and the position that you are in your career at the time. Based that this is considering mental health, I didn't come into many implications that I could possibly overcome. There is a possibility that some individuals will not want to be honest during the study because it may mention the realization that they're not mentally healthy. Another one is some individuals may not want to speak about their personal lives and keep it as a private manner. Again, doctors, lawyers may want to keep how they handle their stress in public a private manner. The other problem is targeting those individuals who like to be socially isolated, which I think is also another sign of loose mental health. It may be hard to get them to conduct with the study. Based on all of the findings, the research, the theoretical framework, I do hope that this is giving clarity about how important mental health is in the workplace, being that it is big portion of your life that you spend there, and prioritizing the balance between personal life and work life, and understanding that what a healthy work environment looks like between the employer and the employee, no matter the occupation and no matter your gender, race, or age. It's always healthy to have a perfect balance between everything and putting mental health first as a number one priority. Thank you for listening to my presentation, and I hope you enjoy. Thank you.